Okay, first things first, we're going to fire up the Yoder Smoker YS640, and we're going to get that up to a temperature of 150 degrees so that we can get some smoke on these ribs. Turn the power button on. Then we're going to wait for it to fire up. And it's ready. We're going to click start. And we're going to change the temperature down to 150 degrees. The ribs we have today are coming from Costco. This is a 3-pack of St. Louis ribs, which, as you know, is part of the spare rib minus the tips. Okay, let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is take our knife. We're going to open up this package and get all of the ribs out. Oh, this knife is really sharp. It's brand new. This is a Master Mason knife. It's a very inexpensive knife set from Amazon. I think you'll like it. Okay, so now we'll take out the first rack. I'm going to do the first rack and let you guys see, and then I'll stop the video and we'll do the second rack off camera so that we're not using a lot of your time. Time is valuable. So we're going to slice through that membrane. Don't be lazy, folks. Make sure that you remove the membrane. We're going to grab a piece of paper towel. What that does is it makes it so that the membrane isn't quite so slippery. So really simple. Hopefully we can get it off in one piece. We'll see. Probably not today, but that's okay. Yeah, that's all right. As long as that whole membrane comes off, that's all that matters. Okay. There's most of it. Just a little tiny piece left here. Paper towel. And the membrane is off. Super simple. We're going to pretty much leave these as is. These are really nicely trimmed ribs. There's a little bit of extra fat over here that we want to remove. So we'll take that off. A little bit of fat off the top here. Oh yeah. These aren't competition ribs, so we don't really care too much. As long as you get whatever you think won't cook in your smoker off. If it's not going to render, you're probably not going to want to eat it. See if we can do it without slicing our finger open. I'm actually shocked at how good these knives are. Okay, yeah, I think that's going to be okay. We'll just square this up a little bit. Okay. I may throw that smoker in the smoker anyways, just because. Because it's my video and I can if I want to. All right, next, we're going to come over with the binder. Today on pork only, I use a yellow mustard. Pretty much on beef, I don't really use a binder because I don't find that it's necessary. But on pork, I kind of like it. Doesn't really add any flavor, but it really makes the rub adhere pretty nicely. Adhere or adhere? I think it's adhere, so we'll go with that. Makes the rub adhere really nicely. Okay, I think that's good. You don't need a ton on here. So next, we're going to grab our rub. For this first rack, we're going to be using Chud Rub because, frankly, it's one of my favorite rubs out there now. On the second two racks, we're going to be using Killer Hog's The Barbecue Rub. Once I've perfected my rub, we will use that. But for today, this is pretty nice. It's got a nice salt and pepper flavor to it. Really nice Texas style rub. A little bit of heat. Okay. We want to get a good coating on the meat side. We don't want anything left behind that's not going to be flavorful. Okay. Don't forget the sides. Looks good. Okay. Perfect. And just like that, our first rack is ready for the smoker. So I'm going to do the next 2 racks, and I'll be back with you when I put them on the smoker. Okay, so as I do sometimes, I change my mind. I did go with the chuds for the first rack, and then I went to Killer Hogs, the barbecue rub for the second. But I decided for the third rack, we're going to go with Dano's crunchy seasoning. We want to give that a try. It's a good seasoning. I've put it on steaks and stuff. Never done it on ribs, so we'll see how that goes, see how we like it. I've already removed the membrane, and of course, the membrane came off perfectly on these because I wasn't on camera. So now I'm just going to season both sides and the edges, and I'll be back in a minute so that we can throw them on the smoker. Looks like the smoker is up to temperature, ready to go, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, welcome back. Here we are at the smoker. It's up to temperature. We're going to get these on low and slow, 180 degrees. We're going to kind of squish these together so that when it comes time to cut them up, we'll be able to find the bones a little bit easier. Okay, right there. 180 degrees. Like I said, we're going to try and get the most flavor we can out of this pellet smoker. Again, this is the Yoder YS640, and let's see how it does. So this Yoder pit, you're going to see that it's got a temperature of 171. We set it at 150, but it's been programmed so that it will do swings just like an offset smoker would. But you can see that nice thin blue smoke pouring out of there. This is an amazing device to smoke some ribs or whatever you want. I've done prime rib, regular ribs, beef ribs, pork butt, all kinds of stuff. But this is a great little smoker. Okay, here we are back out at the smoker. It's been an hour and the ribs are coming along very nicely. I have a mixture of apple juice and apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to spray these to get them a little bit more moist. So we don't want these to dry out. And oh, I forgot to mention earlier, this smoke I'm using hickory pellets from, I don't remember, Lumberjack. They're Lumberjack pellets, hickory smoke flavored. So here we are, it's been about 3 hours, going strong. Gonna give it another spritz. Getting some nice color on there. Oh yeah, look at those baby smoke. Looking good. Not really seeing a lot of bone pullback yet. Maybe a little bit, but not enough. But we'll get there. See you in a bit. Okay guys, so now it's time to go ahead and pull and wrap these ribs. I thought about not wrapping them, but we're going to because my family wants to eat tonight. And if I don't wrap them, they're going to take quite a bit longer. So we're going to give a little bit more moisture on here. We're going to pull them off one at a time. Check that. See how that's starting to crack nicely right there. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Oh yeah, that is a pretty looking rib. You couldn't see that cracking because mostly I was blocking the camera. That's all right. I'm new at this, so you can leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of the video. If you didn't like it, too bad. If you did like it, thank you. I appreciate it. Go ahead and like and subscribe. So right now we're going to add a little bit of butter. And then we're going to put some honey on here. Because you know what they say, honey for the money. Some people like to use parquet, but that artificial stuff doesn't really go over big with me. I'd rather really have the butter. And you don't really need a ton on there, just enough so it's going to make a little bit of a sauce. Okay, spread that around. Oh yeah, I did notice in the store today that they sell butter balls, and I'm not talking about the turkeys, I'm talking about actually balls of butter, but it was like $5 for 8 ounces, so basically $10 for a pound of butter. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm just going to go with the regular butter, because $10 for a pound of butter is a little bit ridiculous. All right, so you got that. We're going to take a spoon. Now this is some local wildflower honey. Let's go ahead and close this while we're waiting. Some local wildflower honey. This stuff is amazing. This is Connecticut owned and operated. So we're going to throw some honey on there. Everybody loves honey. Okay, that looks pretty good. My seasoning already has some brown sugar in it, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. So we're going to flip this over, and we're going to turn it like that. Put this like this. Make these two ends meet. So we want this to wrap up nice and tight. And fold this over. And fold that over. And that's one down, 2 to go. And I will bring you right back as soon as I'm ready to pull them off and check them out. See ya. So I'm bringing you back here. This is the chud rub ribs. And because of the pepperness in here and the saltiness, I decided that I'm not going to go with honey on these ones. And we'll see what my family thinks about that, because they do love the honey on the ribs. So just a little update for you, and I will see you in a few minutes.